I need to get some Isaac content pulled together so that Joanna has stuff to upload. Why am I so dumpy
This
and
is
slow?
the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
K-Stroop, tier 1, 22 months. K-Stroop, thank you so much. God, the part I won't go too hard on this because I really don't want this to just be like political commentary all day. But the part that cracks me up is that like a blowjob led to Bill Clinton being impeached, and then it was kind of no big deal when it was just like, this guy's paying hush money to porn stars and lying about it. They're like, well, when you're in power, listen. Sometimes when you're a powerful person, you gotta have the means necessary to blow off some steam. You're just jealous because you can't fuck porn stars. I'm like, I don't know if that's what I was getting at. K-Stroop, thank you so much. Anna. Rules for thee, not for me. Don't get me wrong, I think that there are definitely big parts of the Democratic Party that I think are fucking despicable as well, but and got his money back. Was that because she broke the gag order? Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. That's not funny, but it's kind of funny. The NDA. Maybe the gag order's not the right time. Old Yeetus Fetus. I'm hoping that this run will go faster. We can get to Resident Evil by about 12:30 or so. I was gonna say, based on how she described it, I don't think it would have gotten far enough back for gagging to happen, but maybe from the smell. Oh. Can I hit this? I think I can hit this. I was gonna say, why am I not getting this bomb? I believe that to be good. I believe that to be good for us. We'll see if I can get this. Nice. More than anything, the shittier items that we don't want to pick up, maybe we can turn into like speed or range or shot speed or whatever. Why don't I have any bits for timing out? Oh, it's gonna be a rough Monday. Rough minor league Monday. Rough minor league Monday here. I would really like to be able to get the blue candle, but I just don't think it's in the cards for us. Pheromones. I genuinely don't want to lose one of these black hearts trying to get in and out of the curse room. Maybe from the smell. I had a dream last night that I got confused. I dreamt that Amber and I basically went to like a TwitchCon. And I dreamt that I got confused, like that there was a partner party. And Glitch uses 2,000 bits. And times out Jay the 111 for 500 blessed seconds. Glitch is the hero we need and the hero we deserve. I dreamt that Amber and I went to a con, and I dreamt that I was trying to find my way to a partner party. I dreamt that I was trying to find my way to a partner party, and then I saw a bunch of like really nicely dressed people kind of pulled together for like a masquerade party, which there have been masquerade parties in the history of partner parties. There was one in 2018 at TwitchCon that I went to. I was not very well put together. That was the one where Smashley scared the shit out of me because an incredibly beautiful woman in a what's the word I'm looking for? Not masquerade. The little Eyes Wide Shut masks. Well, I mean, yeah, she was basically in a Jessica Rabbit dress as well, but what's the little half mask that I just, for whatever reason, cannot summon the name of? That would have been a really good room. Really good room for the bombs. Not Phantom of the Opera. Is it Masquerade? Is that the right word? The little half mask? Am I just not trusting my instincts? Hold on. Whoops. Masquerade ball. Yeah, masquerade ball. Anyway, yeah, it was a masquerade ball and everybody was wearing masks at this partner party. So a beautiful woman in a half mask comes up and puts her hand on the small of my back, and I was just like, my wife is not here. I am confused. And it turned out it was Smashley, and she recognized me. I'd never seen her face before, so I had no idea. Sorry. Anyway, I basically had that dream last night. I dreamt I went to another TwitchCon. Then I saw a bunch of people and getting ready for a masquerade ball with masquerade masks on. And I was like, shit, I didn't realize it was a masquerade ball. Fortunately for me, and this is why I should have known it was a dream, I packed my tux. Fortunately for me, I packed my tuxedo. I appeared to think for myself. So I ended up getting into a tuxedo and going to this thing and going like, man, even with the masks on, especially with the masks on, I don't recognize anybody in this like limo bus. The dream that I had, I dreamt that I accidentally took myself to like an Eyes Wide Shut rich person swingers orgy. I dreamt that I ended up at like essentially like a rich person swingers orgy, and that like a beautiful, you know, well put together blonde woman showed up. Not Smashley, by the way. Just it was my mind basically plucked like the last Instagram model my brain saw before I'd gone to bed, you know? my brain basically did like a composite sketch of like, here's what a beautiful lingerie Victoria's Secret model looks like. I'm just gonna do that. So yeah, I dreamt that I basically sent myself to like a rich person orgy. And I was like, so are there swag bags at the end of the night? Does anybody know if Razer's here? Cause I'm trying to get a hardware sponsorship. Was it Caliverse? No, because I came to stream today. If it had been Bree making sexual advances on me in my dream, I would be in therapy right now, and you guys would not get me back until 2022. Yeah, K-Stroop, it was a very intense I need an adult. It was an incredibly intense I need an adult moment where I was like, I accidentally have done a bad, and I am aggressively trying to figure out the fastest way to not end my marriage here tonight and to get back to the Airbnb. There we go. MP Mana Point, good morning. Damn. I've officially found my favorite item in the game, Black Candle, no curses. Yeah, I mean, Black Candle, it's hard not to get pretty excited about Black Candle for sure. Hard not to get excited about Black Candle for sure.
I can see forever.
Taffy's dream was at a partner party, but for those who paid to boost their streams. Chat, do me a huge favor. If and when boosting streams comes out on this channel, just give me that money. I'll figure it out. Be like, hey Taffy, here's 20 bucks. I was gonna boost your stream, but instead I'll just say, try to grow your channel harder. Will do. Your wish is my command. I will try to grow my channel harder. Consider it on my actionable items list. I will say this, Too Forgetful. I will say this. Because of my meme war that I had going on with Shia Bun, I now know how much it costs to rent a billboard. Hello? I now know how much it costs to rent a billboard in Richmond, and I did not have the disposable income necessary to meme that hard, is what it turns out. It turns out that I do not have, what was it, like 1,400 bucks to get a billboard done? For like the bare minimum billboard rental. Here's 50 bucks, Taffy. Take Noah to get a milkshake. Yeah, never. When they were doing it with channel points, I don't remember any point in time where somebody showed up as a result of boosting the channel with channel points, who stuck around or said like, hey, I found your channel through channel points boosting. Can't wait to stick around here and give you cash. I don't remember adding. Raise your hand if you showed up here because we were boosted to front page by channel points. I followed Shia Bun last week. Dude, Shia lives in Richmond. We found each other because we found out that like he was streaming in Richmond and I was streaming in Richmond. So he and I became kind of fast online friends. We've yet to meet in person. It was, we were actively inviting each other to do stuff. We were actively inviting each other to do stuff when the pandemic shut everything down. I do like that. And I think I will take this as well. But we had a one-upsmanship game where every time we came in to talk to each other, every time we came into each other's channels, like if he came in here right now, it's been a minute. He's been busy, I've been busy. But if he came in here right now, I'd let out like a resounding like, Shia! I'd just yell it as loud as I could at like the ceiling. And then one day I escalated it by having my wife join in and yell Shia at the top of her lungs. And he announced very plainly that that meant war. So the next time I went into his channel, which was like a week later, he was in the middle of sponsored time. He was in the middle of sponsored time. I'm actually gonna do this for the one-part mom transformation. I don't need more help. He was in the middle of sponsored time, stopped it, and played like a 3-minute video he had rendered of him leaving the house, getting in an Uber, and he did this all with like, movie overlays and graphic overlays and green screen effects. Yeah, COVID year 1 shut everything down. And so, he played this video he had edited together where it was him leaving his office, getting into an Uber, going to an airport, going to a second smaller airport, flying into like the Himalayas or the Alps, climbing to a top of a mountain, and then from the top of the mountain, his camera had been shrunk down so he looked like he was off in the distance, screaming, Taffy! And having it echo through the hills. He did that during sponsored time. He stopped for 3 minutes to meme me as hard as he could. Tears down. Sweet. So I named a star Hello Shiabun. So there's now a star in some part of the constellation that is named Hello Shiabun. So anytime you look up at the night sky, you can say, Hello Shiabun, and point at the stars. And know that you're pointing at a very specific star called Hello Shiabun. So he came back. He came back and created his own version of Flappy Bird, where it was either my face or the mascot head, I don't remember. And it was flying through a canyon of Sogo meat sticks. And every time you clicked to bounce, it was him saying, Taffy, 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 as you navigated through this ocean of meat sticks. I actually was I was in the process. I'd shelled out 3 figures because he was doing all this stuff with just skill, right? No, I saw so many enemies and just assumed I would get them to eat each other. Oh, boo, hiss. Oh well. I don't have skill. Like, I'm not good at things. So I spend money to pay people who are good at things to help me with stuff. So I went on Cameo and hired the guy who played Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2 and asked him to greet Shiabun the way that he yelled Lenny in the game. Lenny! And when Shiabun showed up, I was gonna play him Arthur Morgan, greeting him, the voice of Arthur Morgan, greeting him and welcoming him into the channel. But unfortunately, Arthur Morgan said that he was worried that I would use that to make money on Twitch, and that he only wanted to do personal greetings, so he refunded my money. And then after that, we kind of agreed that at some point it was gonna get out of control, because I was looking at spending 4 figures to get a billboard in Richmond near his house that just said Hello Shiabun on it. I was on the verge of dropping $1,200. I genuinely had to have Amber talk me out of it. And once Shiabun found out that I was on the verge of spending like $1,200 to get a billboard next to his house that said Hello Shiabun on it, we decided that there was nowhere for this to go except to an unreasonable place, and that we were both seemingly too excited to let it go there. So we both conceded that it was time to give it a rest. El Pablo and Wesley both got here from raids. I can't wait to meet Shia. I'm super excited. I genuinely think that once my new backyard is pulled together, once the landscaper's done with our new backyard and our walkway, I might see what I can do about getting a handful of Richmond streamers to come help us break this place in. I don't want to say who, because I don't know that everybody, like, it turns out there are quite a few Richmond partners. Some of whom I didn't know lived in Richmond until they got in touch with people I knew. Like, I've always known that Trick2G's here. But I don't think Trick2G wants to be friends with me. But like me and Justin, I always thought there was one other partner in town. Not Justin. Before Justin moved here, I always thought there was one other partner in town, and he moved to DC. He and I were kind of friendly. But, yeah, as it turns out, there's actually a pretty thriving Richmond, Twitch scene that we just didn't all know about each other. Front page pickup. Did urine chugger Steve Jobs. A rare yay. I actually get to watch you from work today. Usually got to watch the VOD way after the fact. Steve Jobs, happy to have you here. I haven't said that name in too long. So yeah, there's definitely a part of me that maybe when I get my backyard pulled together, which it looks like is going to happen in December, because we were told it was either going to be, December. It was either going to be December, or let's see if we get health or bombs. There we go. We got bombs. We were told we were either going to get our new backyard. I got lunched. That's fine. Who knows what the other option was? At the very worst, I'm gonna get health. Like at the very worst, I'm gonna get health in exchange for potentially a bad item. The absolute worst case scenario is I get like Isaac's Heart or some bullshit like that. Yeah, the landscaping guy said that he'd either get our house done in September or December, depending on whether or not some pool gigs that he had lined up came through. There are apparently some pool jobs that were technically ahead of us, but he wasn't completely convinced that the supply chain was going to hold up. Yeah, car battery. I gotta time that out right. In my mind, I'm switching the items at about the rate I'd imagine they'd be switched were I able to see them. So in that room, I knew what I wanted was... In that room, I knew what I wanted was the item that the shop had to offer and not health. Here, again, I want to get there fast so I can get the cube of meat. And then here again, Death's List, Dark Matter. In my head, I'm just kind of doing like I know about how fast it changes. So I'm just kind of sitting there bopping with it and hoping that I get it in time, you know? Yeah, it's like 1 second intervals, yeah. About like that, yeah, for sure. Alan Wake Remastered is out tomorrow. Man, I loved Alan Wake. For all of its imperfections, it wasn't a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, but I liked Alan Wake very much. Alan Wake was the reason that Amber and I bought an Xbox 360 instead of a PlayStation back during that console cycle. That was the exclusive that we wanted to play. We ended up getting a PlayStation as well eventually, but initially I got an Xbox because I wanted to play Alan Wake and let Amber watch me play it. Barry, dude, I fucking love Barry from that game. I mean, I'm clearly not taking the other one, so I guess breakfast it is. It was a speed upgrade, so thank God, because I'm moving like a tank with a flat tire. I don't think I'm gonna sit here and try to actually do Death's List. Like, if it happens, it happens, but... Like, this is... Well, I was gonna say that's easy enough, but technically I guess the mask dying counts as a death. Ah, Mr. Meeseeks, look at me. Can't talk myself into that. I generally like Mr. Me, but I can't... Tanks don't have tires, Taffy, they have caterpillars. I think you're confusing tanks with insect sanctuaries. This is not a butterfly house at a botanical garden. Yo, potato peeler would be great. I'd love that. It feels like the last 6 or 7 times we've had potato peeler, we've ended up going to Dogma, where it's not worthless. Oh, Ryan, that was bad. It's not worthless, but it's not as useful. I would love to have a 4th level Meat Boy. I would love to have a 4th level Meat Boy in a place like on a run that terminates with a boss that it can be hit by a 4th level Meat Boy. Fanta Killer, what's going on, man? Welcome back. Sorry you got a pre-roll. I need to run ads again on my next convenient break, so I can get the ooh, this is a straight damage upgrade. I need to run pre-roll ads again, or sorry, run an ad break on my next stretch. It gets rid of that for a little bit at least. Gets rid of it for a half an hour if I run 3 minutes when I'm stretching. Yeah, potato peeler plus binge eater would be potentially a couple of meat boys, and it would be awesome. Huh. I definitely want to check out these curse rooms. The nice thing about getting binge eater is that like items like cursed eye, items like cursed eye, ouch, items like curse of the tower, items that I just generally will never pick up, suddenly become so much more useful. Well, damn, I tried to do that one in order, but War had other ideas. Good for him though. I'm not gonna be mad at him for helping. Damn, how many curse rooms? Oh, it's just the 2. It's like, how many curse rooms are on this floor? I was confusing the boss trap room with
it. This is the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
Jackspot gifts 6 months of subs to Fanikiller. Fanikiller, you don't have to worry about it for another half year thanks to Jackspot. And Jackspot's considerable generosity. Thank you so much, man. Very much appreciated. Damn, I was kind of hoping the secret room would be right there so I could get into that boss trap room, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I don't know where the secret room is, and frankly, I'm not too compelled to find it. This is Depths 2, though, so I will go ahead and donate the rest of my money. we don't stand for ads. Might as well for the stat increase, for what it's worth. We'll go ahead and grab these while we're at it. Might as well. Our community is pretty great. There's a reason that, like, while I try to improve our viewership numbers, while I try to improve our viewership numbers pretty consistently with a lot of different little hatched plans here and there, you guys don't ever see me. If we have a slow revenue month, if we have like a legitimate, not memey slow month or a slow week, you'll watch me sweat a little bit. I may mention it, not as a prompt, but just like, if people say like, hey, Taffy, you seem a little scattered, I'm like, oh, well, you know, I made $12 this week or whatever. I'll mention it, but otherwise, like, that's the only time you really will ever see me sweat. I don't know that you've ever seen me stress out that, like, viewership... The only time I'll ever stress viewership being down is when we're playing a game that seems to actively be driving viewership down. At which point I'll say, like, hey, I don't think we get to play this game anymore. It's driving viewership down. Otherwise, I don't stress about gaining viewers. If it happens, great. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure it happens. But our chat is so generous and takes such good care of me and of my family that I've you know, because Twitch is like a game, I always want to get...
Look at you, Stanley, flaunting your disposable income with that donation to Taffy.
Hey, Stroop, my dude. Yeah, man, because Twitch is like a game to me, I'm always trying to get a higher score. I want to succeed. I want to be validated for my work. But I don't stress out about it as though it's like... Validation's different than... Having it validate me is different than having it be the lone source of my self-worth. My self-worth is not tied up in whether or not I'm doing well on Twitch. Viewership-wise. It's just it's like a high score on a video game. And I just, you know... I would like to retire a millionaire. Who wouldn't? As a streamer, I see a path to get there if certain pieces fall correctly. Sounds great to me. But if I don't get it, chat takes such good care of me. I'm as comfortable as I've ever been in my life. And it's because our community is so stinking generous. Poor Disco Elysium. Hey, at least Disco Elysium got finished. I liked Disco Elysium, even though viewership was bad for that game. I liked it too much not to finish it. We just finished it on Saturdays. I've had other games that I've had to dump because nobody was watching me play it, and it made me not care about how it ended. K-Stroop, do you want me to know what you got me, or do you want me to let it be kind of a surprise? Rusty Brazenfire, I haven't seen Rusty yet, but Rusty sent us a copy of the board game. Hey, there you are. The stream gifts came in. I got a copy of Carcassonne. I got a tin of Danish cookies that are already half gone. And a professional strength ninja blender that, frankly, years and years ago, Nate and I went to Irvine, California to talk to people who would become pretzel users. We went to go talk to streamers about what they would want from pretzel. And spent like a week and a half down there. I told Nate that if we were going to be at an Airbnb in Southern California that I wanted margaritas. So he Amazon Prime Now'd a ninja blender that we ended up giving to Flame Goat and Nikki. It was the damn best blender I'd ever seen in my life. I've wanted one ever since. And now I have one because I just had some like cheap Target blender that we've had almost since Amber and I got together. And I was like, yeah, if I ever upgrade, I'm gonna get something nicer, but if somebody upgrades it for me, I'm gonna have it eventually. Or sorry, I'm gonna have it much faster. Those cookies are so good. The Danish butter cookies, God, they're delightful. Especially the ones with the finishing sugar. The ones with the big crystal finishing sugar on top. Mildly Ornery says, path to being a millionaire, step one, give up empathy, cold turkey. It's the only way, it only gets in the way. I'm as cynical a human being as there is out there. God damn, I got roughed up in that room. But I look at Nate, and when Pretzel sold, because I hadn't been involved in Pretzel in years, I couldn't deal with the stress of trying to run a channel and trying to help Nate with Pretzel. But when Nate sold Pretzel, if he had been like a lot of different business partners I've had in the past, he would have tried to have leveraged and leaned on me to get as much as humanly possible. Nate's a millionaire now, but at one point he confided in me that he felt like regardless of what the math said I deserved, Nate said he felt like I wasn't getting enough. It's like I said, selling Pretzel made Nate a millionaire, and it made a handful of people close to him almost get a toe over the line. Or, you know, or Ian, who was already a millionaire and just got some more money, got a lot of money for his investment. But Nate became a millionaire, and instead of leaning on me to try to break me, or leveraging me, or saying like, well, you know, we could go to court over this, but the documents do say this is what you deserve. Nate got to the very end of all the paperwork and went, shit, you're not getting enough money. I was like, wait, what? He goes, you're not getting enough money. He's like, you were in this from the start. He's like, you put in hard times and long hours for a very long time, and I don't feel like you're getting enough money. And I was like, well, that's not what our legal agreement says, and I'm not interested in potentially spoiling our friendship to fight over a couple of dollars. And so Nate in one part of the paperwork said, this part that should go to me, just give it to Tappy. And they're like, you realize, Nate, that you're asking us to give you, like, you're asking us to give part of what belongs to you from this settlement, from this sale. You're asking us to give part of that to Taffy, and it's a six-figure amount. And Nate goes, yeah, that'll make me feel better. So Nate shipped me 6 figures worth of listen, chat. Again, Do I continue to show up to work? It wasn't high six figures. It was toe over the line six figures. But the point being, Nate shipped me six figures because he felt like it was not right that he became a millionaire and that I was basically getting like 1 year's salary. So Nate is a millionaire and Nate is a sympathetic human being. So he's proved to me that it can be done. Champoon Poon! I think just in time, basically. Yeah, we haven't played Bad Rats, I'm still here. Nice. She's just supposed to snap one photograph and then leave, like make me leave and just take whatever comes out. But because they were slow at that moment, and I told her I was real particular about my photos, like I don't like the way I photograph, but I wanted this so bad. And she was like, if you don't tell people, and you certainly don't tell my bosses, but if you don't tell people that I took a couple of photographs and let you pick your favorite, I'll take a couple of photographs and let you pick your favorite. And I was like, holy shit, you're so great. And so we did. We took a bunch of photographs, and then I picked the one that I if I'm being honest with you, it's the one I disliked the least. It was an okay picture of me. The other ones were actually bad, including the first one, the one I would have had to have gone with. But yeah, she sat there and let me kind of peek behind the curtain and then pick the one that I wanted. I will forever be in debt to that person because it's one of my favorite Halloween decorations now. Is this? I'll grab it on my next trip downstairs. It is a photograph of me that, as you walk past it, morphs into a ghoulish creature, and then back into like a standard ghoulish creature. Oh my god. Is that Guppy Guppy? Not yet. It's our second Guppy piece though. Won't it not work on green screen? I can just turn the chroma off. But remind me to grab it on my next break. Yeah, we're gonna get some track lighting and put it up on the ceiling. Behind the camera is, well, you can kind of see it. There's a little blue tinge at the bottom of the frame. That's this like gnarly, nasty, beat up asshole couch that I can't wait to get rid of. It was the first piece of furniture Amber and I bought as a married couple. And so it's had like vomit and piss and human shit. And that was before the boys were even born. That was just me being a drunk in Philadelphia. It's had every bodily fluid that's existed in this house on it at some point that we just prayed Scotchgard would get it out. And so it's got that like ugly turquoise blue cover on it. And then it, oh no, the orange fly messed that up. At some point, hello. Nobody likes you, Krampus. Get slapped, idiot. Yeah, at some point we're gonna finish that room by doing like track lighting on the ceiling by the bookshelf. We're gonna get a new couch. We're gonna get a new carpet, like a rug to put down on the hardwood. Neat. That's also the room where the pinball machine will go. That's also a room where like the boys' video game / entertainment center is gonna be. It's gonna be right next to the pinball machine. And yeah, I genuinely had a hard time. I didn't like looking at that room. I would walk past that room and just keep my eyes down because it used to bother me so much that it was just like a place where our shitty couch was. There's a place where our shitty couch was and a whole bunch of boxes stayed for 2 years because we couldn't get to a furniture store because of the pandemic. Glitch sends Beryl to the Shadow Realm. You know what you did. God, Champion, I'm glad you like the Squid Game tweet. I felt like that. I didn't necessarily think it was gonna go viral, but I thought for sure I was gonna get. I thought for sure I was gonna get triple-digit likes on it. I mean, again, social media is like a game, right? Where it's like you're like a copywriter. You're like a copywriter, and you write something and you submit it, and then the internet's approval decides whether or not you wrote good copy. And so I had that, like, I was watching, like, I watched Squid Game, and I'm not giving anything away because this is like the first episode. You know, you discover that people have to play games, and if they don't play them well, they die. I mean, hell, that was on CBS Mornings. Vlad Dutier talked about that this morning. So that is nothing is spoiled by telling people that. But then as I was explaining it to someone a couple of days ago, they were like, so what's the premise of this? And I was like, well, it's like you play video games and you play them well, and if you don't play them well, you die. And I kind of sat there and I was like, or basically it's exactly what I do for a living. Where you pick some children's games and you play them, and if you don't play them well, a bunch of people you've never met before on the other side of a camera take great pleasure in watching you painfully perish. Not gonna lie, for a while there I considered the feasibility of streamers being put in real life situations of Fall Guys and Among Us minus the death. I think a streamer's, what is it, Takashi's Castle? A streamer's Takashi's Castle would go really well. Because honestly, as long as you got them to sign away liability for like torn ACLs and shit, there are absolutely a couple of streamers out there that I wouldn't mind seeing get fucking sucker punched by piston wielding pillow fight machines coming out of a wall. As an enjoyer of spicy, a lot of American heat beats Korean out of the park. How so? What's the difference, I guess, is my real question. I would imagine the Koreans would do spicy very well, like Southeast Asia generally does spicy pretty well. Right you are, Ken. Staffy finally slipping about the Twitch branded gun that's mounted behind his chair. Granted, my death would be more metaphorical. My death would be more metaphorical if I died. If I suddenly stopped doing Twitch well at all, but it wouldn't change the fact that I'd die and go to I'd die and go back to retail hell. There's a part of me that believes like going back to wait tables and bartend and all that kind of stuff would be so much worse because I would see what the other side was like. Once I got the Twitch contract, I told Noah I had a real problem. Part of the reason I'm trying to come up with Retirement GG, I want Retirement GG, like Retirement.gg to launch on the same day that my Twitch contract expires. If I don't get my Twitch contract re-upped, I want my Retirement.gg idea to launch the same day that my contract expires. And the reason is, it's like, I waited tables. Oh my. I waited tables, I bartended, and at the time, like, I was pretty miserable later on in life, being in my 30s. And having like guests basically say like, well, Ryan, you're way too smart to be in restaurants. What's the next step? And I didn't have a next step. And that would always be like an instant, real like big downer of people being like, well, it's really unfortunate that you're good at this job. Clearly it's not what you're meant to be doing, right? And I was like, I don't know, man. I'm 32 and I've got a wife and a kid. So, and the economy's in the tank. So yes, it's what I'm doing right now. I think it would be so much worse going back there from here. It's what I was telling Noah with regards to like, I need that Retirement GG thing to launch the day my Twitch contract ends, because frankly, I don't like the idea of not making the amount of money I make right now. It is more money than I feel like I should make. It is more money than I feel like I should make. But man, I do not relish the idea of going backwards. Would feel like death. The idea of going backwards would definitely feel like dying. That was the first thought that I had of Squid Game. Was like, full-time streamer. You're doing well enough to make enough money to live? And they're like, yeah, it's doing great. It's like, all right, keep winning. Keep winning at the game of Twitch, because if you don't, you fucking die. Korean spice is generally upfront spice and not a whole lot of flavor. US, we do a whole lot of slow burns and smokier, interesting flavors. That's fair. I could see Korean spice being all kind of one note. Whereas, like, saying that you're eating American hot food is akin to saying you're drinking a craft beer. It's like there's no telling what all differences are happening between American hot sauces and barbecue sauces and all that shit. I'm not 32 now. No, I'm a decade older than that. I'll be 42 in May. I'll be 42 in May. What are we still doing in the chest? Delirium opened up. So I figured I'd grab all the items I could and we'll go down and take a crack at Delirium. I'm torn as to whether or not I want Pinking Shears or Satanic Bible. Like, I'm genuinely torn. Do I want offense or do I want defense? I'm gonna take Pinking Shears because we have 4.5 volt. So I'll just keep making murder corpses. I definitely also should find the second secret room because there's literally no reason not to. All in, baby! I had an interesting conversation with a friend over the weekend. Was on a food tour with a friend. When we got to the restaurant, the guy giving us the spiel says, I worked in a few positions here over the last few years. I was the manager, assistant manager, and now I'm a server. So they went backwards, huh? I could see it. Infested? I got asked on any number of occasions whether or not I wanted to get into management in restaurants. It never made any sense to me. Like, it made sense from a natural progression of things. But I also had a manager who told us on a good week those servers made more than he did, and I was like, why would I want all that extra responsibility and not be guaranteed more money? Yeah, Waggy Man, that's exactly it. The Bible for survivability. I'm not gonna take the BIBLE. That's not the book for me. RS Fighter, what's going on, man? Welcome back. I know you've been here, but yeah, I think Synthwave was a much better pick today. Rock wasn't doing it for me, and I knew I wasn't in a bad headspace. I wasn't in a bad headspace, but I really needed I needed the music to be working for me, not against me. And a lot of the initial rock offerings were just not doing it for me. Well, shit. This is why we took Pinking Shears, and so when the time came, we wouldn't be counting on black hearts. Answers suck. I mean, Answers is good and all that, but
This is the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
went from an assistant store manager. It's going good. Just finished my meal prep for the week. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I miss being able to do meal prep. I cook for my whole family now, and I miss being able to do meal prep. Oh, come on, guy. Temperance. Trying not to make a real stupid mistake here. Alright, here's what we can do, though. We absolutely can go play that out for a little while. That one Otaku Gal, Prime Gaming 7 months. Welcome back. Thank you so much for your Prime Gaming sub. Very much appreciate it. Smoothies in the morning. Roasted chicken marinated in Cuban mojo sauce with roasted potatoes and cauliflower. Yeah, I miss being able to do meal prep. That was always advantageous when it came to helping me lose weight. It's hard to do that, though, when you're cooking for a family of 4. And everybody's got their own very specific what they will and what they won't eat. It's a tough line to walk. That's about as much as I'm willing to risk on that beggar, I think. I think Delirium is the top left center. I guess we'll find out. I'll take jumper cables. God willing, we'll be able to come back here with some more red hearts and play that guy out even more. I want what he's offering. I'm just not willing to go into a Delirium fight with like 6 hearts to make it happen. I've been a victim of my own hubris plenty of times before, where I've just given way too much to a demon beggar too late in the game. Dude, have you tried bibimbap night with the boys? It's like sushi but cooked fish instead of raw fish. I love bibimbap. I don't know that I've tried it yet. Rory loves bulgogi. We make kind of a bastardized, super easy American version of bulgogi, but he says that bulgogi beef is his favorite meal on the planet. I used to make bibimbap back when I worked at Morimoto's. I used to be the tableside server who pulled it together. I'd cook the food on the bowl and all that jazz. I love bibimbap. Oh, kimbab is what I meant. No, I've never had kimbab. The boys love sushi. Well, okay, let me correct that. Grayson loves sushi. Rory does not love sushi, but he loves miso soup, and he loves plain white rice. Like Japanese sushi rice or just plain white rice that comes from a Chinese restaurant is one of his favorite sides in the world. He just shovels it in by the mouthful. That kid just loves plain white rice. I'll offer him fried rice. I'll make Spanish rice when I make like Mexican food. I'll actually make some like halfway decent Spanish rice. Or box rice, but even box rice I soup it up a little bit. Do I have money equals power on this run? I do. Alright, sorry, bud. And even when I have like fancy rices that I've made, like lime cilantro rice or Mexican, like a Spanish rice to go with Mexican food or whatever, I'll do all this stuff to try to fried rice for Chinese food. I'll do all this stuff to try to like fancy it up, and he'll just get frustrated that there's no white rice there. What's his opinion on risotto? I don't know that I've ever, like, I can probably tell you. We made a pretty good rice pilaf the other day, Amber and I did. And he was not about rice pilaf. I don't like this rice. It's not very good. Is there any plain white rice? And I was like, dog, it's rice pilaf. It is only a step removed from regular white rice. It'd be on a roll with chicken cutlet, cucumber, some cabbage kimchi. I've managed to get him to eat some kimchi, which blows my mind. Even Amber's managed to eat some kimchi, and she just doesn't go in on... She didn't go in on any cabbage at all when I met her. But then I cooked cabbage well, and she decided that she was about well-made cabbage. I don't even know... God damn, really? Alright, well, here we go. Oh, this little piece of garbage. Go get him, lads. Guess we'll just kind of do this for now. I wouldn't mind getting close enough to him that I could actually have my guys aggro. There we go. I like that speed the process up a little bit. Fly, murder corpse, fly! I don't know what hit me. Ow. That time I know what hit me. My eyes are tired today. Yeah. Come at me, bro. See how that works out for you. Really rush me down. Teach me a lesson. Headbutt me to death. You'll never see me coming. Got a little murder corpse army. Brady the Pook, you should check in with, like, check in and see if our